I'm gonna reveal my secret. This has never been my favorite story, but when I went to see the musical, I've lost my mind and I loved it so much that it's one of my favorite new musicals that I've seen this year. So in this video, I'm gonna tell you 5 things that you need to know before you go and see The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, which is currently in the West End. And when I tell you the number 4, you will be very, very impressed. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. My name is Christina and I'm on a mission to see 52 West End shows this year, and this is the channel where I share my reviews, tips, and all things London. So if you like the sound of it, then make sure to subscribe. Number 1, what does the movie The Curious Case of Benjamin Button have in common with the musical? And the answer is a lot, because both of them are based on the exact same story by F. Scott Fitzgerald, which was published in 1922. And the story follows Benjamin, who is born as an 80-year-old man and he's aging backwards. This story was popularized by the movie released in 2008 with Brad Pitt and Kate Blanchett. This fairly timeless and universal story is something that resonated with a lot of people when it came out, and a lot of people quote this as one of their favorite movies. And it is all about different perspective on aging and time and using that time really wisely, because that is the one thing that we don't have enough of. And there are so many amazing themes in this musical and just the story in general that are very thought-provoking, and they really put at the center of attention the true values that people have in life and what makes life really worth living, which is people around you, the good times that you have with them, the love that you share with them, and really living life to the fullest, whatever that means for you. And Benjamin is so uniquely himself because he's not really welcome into the world like other babies, because he's just a weird and odd baby. And there's also that element of the story that will resonate with anyone who feels like an outsider, who doesn't feel supported and accepted by their family and surroundings, and for everyone who feels like they need to find their own way no matter what, because they are alone until they find their own tribe. So there are so many beautiful themes of this story which are discussed in the musical and in the movie. So if you really enjoyed the movie, if that is kind of how you got exposed to this story, then you will love this musical, because it is very much talking about all of these themes, but also through music and through dance and choreography, and it is slightly different. Which brings me to my second point that you need to know, and that is the big difference between these two pieces. And that is that the musical is actually set in Cornwall in England, while the movie is set in America. And what this brings to the story is a whole new and different element, not just from the perspective of accents or culture and how things are positioned on stage, but also in terms of the music, melody, and also different circumstances that these characters are going through. While the story on the surface level remains the same and the concept is the same, little details that are actually painting this picture of the musical are very much about a seaside town, about the tavern, about people in the tavern, also traveling on a boat. And there's a lot of seaside life that is weaved into the musical that adds a new layer to the story and a quite different flair to it, because now it is not anymore about just Benjamin and his life. It is also about people in this Cornish village and how they live and their characters and quirks and the beauty of seaside life. So I think that that is one element that really opened this musical to allowing more air and soul into it from every perspective. So the sea is almost like an extra character in this show because it is very prominent in the way that the story is positioned and delivered. So all of these elements are so skillfully weaved into the music in the show, which is definitely the highlight and what makes this musical so special. Taking into account all of this Cornwall vibe, they created the music that is transferring you directly into that space, with seagulls that you can hear as soon as you enter the theater, waves that are also somewhere in the background, the ship that you can see on stage. You feel like you're kind of part of this world already. But then when the cast comes on stage with instruments and a lot of energy, the music just lifts you and takes you to this place where the story is set and you feel like you're a part of it. It's not like you're watching it. You're kind of like the music is everywhere around you. And majority of the music in the musical is folk music, sea shanties, beautiful, heartbreaking ballads at times as well. So many beautiful instruments that are creating this great sound on stage that are full of rhythm and violin and great lyrics and just overall amazing harmonies that really contribute to you feeling so welcomed and taken by this story and just taken on board of this wonderful journey that the Benjamin Button musical is. Well, the music is generally very upbeat. There are also quite a lot of emotional elements in the story where a lot of people were crying. It is a story that definitely takes you to a different place and makes you reflect about your own life. Be prepared to feel those feelings, and especially they're emphasized by the music that is so wholesome and emotional. It is just a beautiful score that I can see myself coming back to every now and then to listen and just to transport me to Cornwall. We've got to the point number 4, and this is something that I have not witnessed in the West End before, and that is the most incredible cast. They are dancers, actors, and musicians all at the same time. They do not have help from any other band member, from anyone else. Like, the music is created on stage in front of you by this wonderful cast who are pretty much most of the time on the stage in some capacity, and they're all playing multiple roles and they're all swapping around, and like, just the blocking is amazing and they are all brilliant. And honestly, I just cannot even call out like one person from the cast because they are all so good. And this is really unique musical where you can really get a chance to be exposed to talents of everyone in the cast. Not only that 1, 2, 3 people who are in the lead roles, but literally everyone gets their time to shine. And that was so beautiful because just seeing these people on stage and how talented they are and how many instruments they play and how easily they switch between the roles, I think that this is one of the most brilliant casts I've seen ever. And if it's just going for them to experience their magic on stage, I think it would have been worth it because they are extremely talented individuals, and I am so honored that I was able to see them all. I really liked how the director did not try and put various, prosthetics and things like that to make Benjamin look old when he was born, etc. It was mainly the costumes that helped the age difference and a little bit hair and, certain props such as the glasses or the cane and things like that, which was so great because it kind of removed that element of pretending like he's old and then he's getting younger. And it was also amazing that they didn't change the person who is Benjamin from the beginning till the end. So it's the same person, John Dalglish, who is at the beginning Benjamin and at the end. So I think they really allowed for the consistency in the story and for the consistency of character to be built over time. And this applies also for other characters because some members of the cast who are obviously older, they're playing kids at some points, and this is also managed with the costumes. And I found that really refreshing, and they didn't try to trick the audience members, but they were like, yes, we understand that you know the story, that you know the narrative, and that we're able to put the story first, and these are just the tools that are helping us tell that story rather than like trying to pretend that, people on stage are someone who they're not, or like that they're of different age. And also the cast was so great to the way that they changed the voices for different characters and the blocking and the facial expressions and how they kind of manage also so quickly to change the relationships between the characters when they will like swap the role. That was also brilliant to see. So I think this cast is 10 out of 10, one of the best that I have seen ever, not just this year. The 5th thing to know about this musical is that it is a delight. It is such a beautiful musical that is wholesome and sad and full of life lessons at the same time. And I don't think that a lot of musicals have that quality to this extent. Also, by it being set in Cornwall, that also adds a unique perspective to this musical and to the story. And it just shows how universal it is. It was just one of those times when I left the theater feeling so uplifted and just like genuinely kind of happy, but like really from within. It was really special watch. This musical originally premiered in 2019 at the Southwark Playhouse, which is a much smaller theater. Then it had another run there, and then it moved to the West End. So it is really its big break right now, and it is a really special time to go and see it because I do think that this musical has an amazing potential that it will eventually maybe even be transferred to Broadway or maybe go on tour. So this is a really special time to see it for the first time in the West End and in the Ambassador Theatre, which is pretty small. So you can be really close to the actors and feel that intimate surroundings of a smaller theater before hopefully it transfers to a bigger, because I think it is a musical that might see some Olivia Award nominations coming its way. way. You still have some time to see The Curious Case of Benjamin Button the musical until 15th of February 2025 for as little as £20. So go and check out the website that I've put in the description box. But if you're looking for another great movie to musical adaptation, then check out the Devil Wears Prada review, which I shared here.